Hi, I started cycle commuting about 40 years ago. It was then about 7 miles each way. At first it was really hard, after a gap of about 5 years since I'd last cycled. So why did I launch this career of cycle commuting? Really, there were 3 reasons then. We couldn't afford a second car. It would be significant exercise which I needed. And I was pleased to be doing my little bit towards the environment. It was clear that I would be using rather less fossil fuels than burning it in a second car. It was also quicker door-to-door than public transport, which required a walk at both ends. It was later that I realised there were more spiritual benefits. The 35 or 40 minutes coming home was good for unwinding, and I could use the bike to venture out into the countryside around us. I've never been a distance cyclist, but I enjoyed the trips of 25 miles or so, and those included round trips to church events in the New Forest. But about 20 years ago, Anno Domini, that's my joints and cardiovascular system, and my work patterns caught up to me, and I just couldn't keep this going. But I missed the exercise and the scooting around the country lanes. A switch to an electric bike or e-bike seemed to be the solution, and about 12 years ago I bought a dedicated e-bike. It could be used in 3 ways. You can pedal, as in a conventional bike, and you can just drive along on electric power. The third and more normal method is a pedal assist mode, which is really useful for climbing hills. As a bike, though, it was very heavy and cumbersome. Locally, an option became available which is a standard cycle, but with an electric motor on the front wheel. You cannot just travel on electric power. It is either pedalling or pedal assisted, but it is so much lighter and manoeuvrable. This is the bike, and it is a hybrid designed for on-road use. You can see the battery and the drinks location on the frame, and the joy of being able to cycle around the country lanes again and recover the range that I had 30 years ago. But I can also use my bike to save a car journey and do the shopping. It's about a 5-mile round trip. I'm not anywhere near as fast as these fit road cyclists, but it takes about 1/4 of the time to cycle to town than to walk. To give an idea of scale, basically one pannier like this and a smallish backpack takes essentially one full supermarket basket. It also has the effect of limiting the amount of food you buy and reducing waste. Comparisons with other transport options can be seen in the books by David Mackay, that is Sustainable Energy Without the Hot Air, and by Mike Berners-Lee. This one is called There Is No Planet B, and this is shown here is the new edition published last month. Walking and cycling are well known to be very low carbon options, and the impact of my cycling miles will depend upon the electricity source we use. If it is a renewable one, then the impact will be very low indeed. As we do have a green electricity supplier, the impact of my cycling to the supermarket is tiny compared to driving even my small, light petrol car, which is capable of 60 miles to the gallon. If you want to consider this means of transport, then do look at the options. Do you want assistance for pedalling up hills and some extra oomph for safely getting through roadworks and roundabouts? Or do you want the option of e-power only? Yes, these bikes generally cost more than a conventional one, but compared to a car, they have a much lower barrier to having an e-vehicle.